Last video I'm record from the summertime of 2014 all the way up to the fall of 2014. I was renting cars. My mom was renting cars a lot when we was living in Fort Myers, Florida, because my mom had a burgundy Benz truck that she drove from Detroit, Michigan, November 30th, 2013. We got to Fort Myers, Florida, December 1st, 2013. That burgundy Benz truck broke down. It was this one dude named Elijah that was working on it. And that truck broke down by like the summertime of 2013. And it was completely broke down. It wasn't drivable anymore. I think the engine finally had went out in it. So my mom had got like this all white old school type of a Crown Vic by like November of 2014 or something like that. I think people tried to mix up those cars, them Benz trucks and stuff in the past. I don't know. September 2014 though, I still remember when I left from the club, I was hanging out with this dude named James and this dude named Wade, and I got pulled over by I pulled up at the 7-Eleven, and then I went inside the 7-Eleven, and the police walked up to me when I walked up out of the 7-Eleven, and they was trying to get me to take a breathalyzer, and of course I denied it. And this one lady walked up and said I wasn't driving. He wasn't driving. I was driving. You know what I'm saying? And then the police walked up to her, had like a 20-second conversation with her, and then she left when the fire truck pulled up. As soon as the fire truck pulled up, after the police pulled up, she left. Still to this day, I don't know who made up some lie, but I personally felt like somebody had to have called the police because I do know I was at the club with this dude named James and this dude named Wade, though. You know what I'm saying? I was at the club, like, partying with them niggas and shit like that. And they was with these two girls. It was a white girl and I think it was this black chick. But I didn't do anything with either one of them. You know what I'm saying? That was mainly Wade and James, ladies that they was talking to that night. So when I denied the breathalyzer, they took me to jail. And then I got bailed out later on that day. A bail bondsman helped me out. It was this dude named Nigel at the time that was talking to my mom's. And he helped out also. And I had made a mistake and crashed a rental car. This was in 2014. This was, I think, early October 2014. Matter of fact, I think this was around around late October 2014. You know what I'm saying? I literally had crashed it into like the canal right at the entrance of Gateway Boulevard, yo. And then the next day, got it fixed up and stuff. Tried my best to get it fixed up, but turned it back into the rental car place. This was in like October 2014, yo. And then we could no longer rent cars like we used to because even though we got the car fixed up, only thing that was messed up on it was like the tire. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have like nothing wrong with the bumper and anything. It wasn't no dents on it. It was just the tire, yo. So the tire had went flat, and I think one of the tire rods had like broke or something. But then when we took and got it fixed to it by a mechanic, it didn't work because when they took it back to the rental car place, they looked at it and they saw that somebody had worked on it. So they still charged, basically a whole lot of money for it. So this was in October 2014. I remember this show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who's throwing some type of lie up, but I just wanted to clear that up. But I already told the whole rundown of everything that happened. By January 2015, I basically pled guilty to reckless driving because when the police tried to give me a breathalyzer and I didn't take it, they refused to just throw it out. So I just agreed to plead guilty to reckless driving, yo. You know what I'm saying? Went on probation for 6 months, and I didn't finish my community service in time. So I violated probation due to not having completed community service, and they put me in jail for 30 days. And I looked at it like, they got everything they wanted because, like, I had basically paid the thousands of dollars off of court fees and all of that. Only thing that was left was the community service, but I did not complete it before the probationary period was over with. So I went to jail for a whole month for that. You know what I'm saying? This was in June 2015. But I think that was September 14, 2014 when I got pulled over at the 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? I pulled up at the 7-Eleven, walked in there, grabbed me a pop, grabbed me a soda, walked up out of there, and then, got flicked, got pulled over by the police. Or I got stopped by the police while I was walking back to the car. And I got to arguing with them. It was, you know what I'm saying? It was just a whole lot of nonsense, that I was on. You feel me? I wish I just went straight back to the crib when I walked up out of that club, to be honest. I don't know if somebody made up a lie that night on me. I don't know if somebody said that I did something that night. I remember being in the club with James and Wade, you know what I'm saying, and like kind of sort of dancing around and stuff like that. Then I left. And I remember them telling me like, yeah, man, just go home, man. Just go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that. Pulled up at the gas station. James pulled up at the gas station like, man, he was like, man, just go home, man. You go mess around. Somebody try to rob you out here or something like that. He left. And then not too long after that, you know, the police pulled up. Don't know. So that was a long, long time ago, dog. That was 11 years ago. And I think somebody made up a lie about me, yo. That burgundy Benz truck that my mom used to have way back in the day, that burgundy Benz truck broke down in the summertime of 2014, yo. You know what I'm saying? There was this one dude named Elijah that used to work on cars and stuff like that. He was trying to get that car to work back. It wasn't working right. And my mom basically took it to like a scrap yard or something and got whatever she could get for it, and then got like an old school like Crown Vic, or all white like old school type of a Crown Vic, something like that. And then after that, by like the summertime of 2015, or the end of the summertime of 2015, or the beginning of the fall, she got that tan, all tan, or that golden Benz truck. And right around the time where I took this one girl to Burger King one day that stayed on 2145 Canal Street, this lady named Stephanie. I took her to Burger King, got her some food, came back to Canal Street, pulled up, and as soon as I pulled up, I passed out, yo, and woke up the next day around like 11 in the morning. I woke up to the birds chirping. You know what I'm saying? And my keys was gone. I was in that 2010 Impala. My keys was gone. This was around like September, October 2015. My keys was gone. And I remember asking her roommate, hey, where your homegirl at? Where your roommate at? And she was telling me, no, I don't want to talk to you, because she was still mad at me because I didn't take her to get something one day or something like that. She was mad about some childish shit. I don't know. I don't really remember. But I said, still to this day, what I personally believe happened is some type of recording had been taken of me in September or October 2015, and somebody framed me and sabotaged me or something like that. Because when I passed out, I wasn't shit-faced drunk. You know what I'm saying? I was taking tiny little sips. I had just poured up a big cup. And as soon as I pulled back up, you know what I'm saying, passed out completely. Passed out. I still to this day believe something was sprinkled in that drink. Just poured up a cup. I was waiting till I got back till I actually started drinking heavily. You know what I'm saying? And then as soon as I got back, because I went to Burger King and I had bought the food for old girl and me. I never had sex with this lady, this girl named Stephanie. I never even had sex with her. It was this lady that I had sex with named Stephanie. She stayed around like the De Leon area, the De Leon apartments and stuff, right around like the Edison Mall and stuff like that. This was way back in 2000. I had sex with her in 2014 and in 2015. I had sex with her in Gateway Boulevard. I had sex with her. I didn't have sex with her on Palm Beach Boulevard. She came up Palm Beach Boulevard one time, but me and her did not have sex. I had sex with her in Gateway Boulevard, and then I had sex with her and at her apartment at the De Leon Apartments, and then I had sex with her again on 2145 Canal Street, Apartment 3. You know what I'm saying? And there was also this one lady named, I forgot her. Me and her had sex one time, and I remember calling her up and cussing her out because I told her I heard some stuff about her, and I didn't know if it was true or not. I stopped talking to her, but me and her had sex once also. I had sex with her right before I had got on the Greyhound bus and went to St. George, South Carolina, yo. So this is in like December 2013, the end of December 2013, or early January 2014, because I took the Greyhound bus to St. George, or Walterboro, South Carolina, in late December or 2013 or early January 2014, and I left from Fort Myers. You know what I'm saying? The bus terminal, Rosa Parks Center, at Fort Myers, and then I came back to Fort Myers. I took the bus back to Fort Myers. And I think this was February 2014, the end of February 2014, or the end of March. Or the beginning of March of 2014. And then when I took the bus back, me and my mom had drove back to Detroit, Michigan to grab some more of that stuff out of the house on West Chicago and Terry Street, yo. So we came back, and it was an all-white SUV, like type of a rental car. And when I came back, me, my cousin JR, and my cousin Teray was taking stuff up out of that house on West Chicago and Terry Street. And we also had took some stuff out of that house and took it to my brother Scooter house, because Scooter had some furniture in there also, and he had a house on Schoolcraft in Greenfield. And I still remember pulling up in my old neighborhood. This is in late February 2014, I believe. And I pulled up on them niggas like, yeah, I stay in Florida now. You know what I'm saying? I stay around like Palm Beach Boulevard area. This is like February 2014. And then after that, we went back. We went back to the crib. We went back to Fort Myers, Florida, yo. And then I started working at the Coca-Cola warehouse, March 2014. And then a couple weeks after that, my mom moved out and moved into this like apartment unit with this Arabic dude that worked with her at the airport. And then she moved up out of there and moved in Gateway Boulevard, yo. And then when she moved to Gateway Boulevard around that time, that was when that burgundy Benz truck had broke down on her. But it was one time I picked up this girl named Stephanie in that burgundy Benz truck. But that was the Stephanie. She was also Haitian. Her name was Stephanie also, but that wasn't the girl Stephanie me that I had sex with the girl Stephanie that stayed from the De Leon. She was living around De Leon apartments in Fort Myers, Florida. But it was this girl named Stephanie Mimi that I met in 2015, like March or April or something, or February of 2015. Yo, she stayed on 2145 Canal Street. It was 7 different units over there on 2145 Canal Street. I was in apartment 3. I think Stephanie Mimi was in like apartment 5 or something like that, or apartment, yeah, she was in apartment 5. So in 2014, I don't remember the exact month, but I did pick up that girl named Stephanie from the De Leon apartments, and then I took her all the way back on Palm Beach Boulevard, but me and that lady never had sex. I tried to, but she said no, and then I took her all the way back to the De Leon apartments. You know what I'm saying? And then when I moved in Gateway Boulevard, right before I left and went to my cousin, I remember this. I had pulled up on her again. She stayed right around the corner from the Edison Mall. I pulled up on her again. And I was basically telling her, like, I ain't in no arguing mood or nothing. Because every time I used to come around her, she'll be on some jokey joke shit, but she'll be basically talking like, nigga, I ain't fucking with you, whatever. And I didn't even smash at this point, at this time, right? And then I was like, all right, I'm about to leave. I was like, all right, like, give me a hug. She was like, no. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And then she hit me up when I got back from Detroit. And then I ended up having sex with her when I got back from Detroit. So I had sex with her in like August or September of 2014, yo. And then me and her had sex again when I moved on 2145 Canal Street. Me and her had sex again. And I also had sex with her at her apartment. She stayed on around the De Leon apartments. Me and her had sex a couple times at her apartment also. Now, that lady name was Stephanie. She was Haitian. And that was not the Stephanie Mimi, though, that stayed at the apartments on 2145 Canal Street. So I don't know what kind of lie was told, yo. I don't know. It was also this other Haitian girl that I had hollered at. This was right before I moved up out of Fort Myers in 2018. Me and her had kissed, but I didn't have sex with her. I got her number at the at the liquor store over there on Fowler Street in 2018. And me and that lady kissed. She was like caramel skin. She had like hips. She had a nice ass. She had a nice body. I mean, she was like cute, caramel skin. But I never followed up. I never had sex with her, yo. Like I remember I pulled up on her. Matter of fact, she stayed at the De Leon apartments also. I remember this now. She stayed at the De Leon apartments too. But I didn't have sex with her. I just pulled up, talked to her for a little minute, and that was it. But the whole point that I wanted to make was when I got pulled over September 14th, yo, 2014. I think some type of lie got told on me. Man, I got put on probation for 6 months. I was doing community service at the Goodwill. I didn't complete my community service in time, and then I violated probation. I went to jail for a whole month. Um, so I don't know. Like, above all, man, I am 35 years old. I'm talking about shit that happened when I was 24 years old, 11 years, 12 years. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is going by a picture that they saw or something that was stated about me and they not talking to me directly, either my phone is being blocked and kept away from everybody and these people hacking in my phone and talking and socializing with people from different accounts that I never uprooted, or it's some people just stupid enough to actually believe shit that they see and they heard on pictures and videos. And I think it's both. I think people still hacking in my phone and then also at the same exact time socialize with people hacking my phone to do it. And then at the same time also, let's say somebody put up a post on Twitter or on Instagram and put up a video of me that's humiliating that I never was aware of because I was probably drugged by somebody. Somebody probably put a pill in my drink or something, like, you know what I'm saying, to put a pill in my soda, and then I fell asleep and I was unconscious and unresponsive. And then while I was unconscious and unresponsive, somebody else came forward and recorded a video and humiliated me, right? Something like that could be floating around somewhere, right? In the midst of all of that floating around, I'm not even aware of it. And then if I was to go on that exact page from my cell phone, on the iPhone 15 that I'm on right now, if I was to actually get on that page and then look that up, I wouldn't find it. And then when I actually try to look that video up on that person's profile or their page on IG or on Facebook or something, it would say that this video is not available right now, or this profile is not available right now, or this user is not available right now. That means that I am being kept away from the real reality of social media. So the only way that somebody can maintain that kind of a hold over my cell phone for that fucking long is if it's somebody else that's working for these cell phone companies that's actually doing this type of shit to me, or it's somebody that just got some type of a high ranking in whatever their profession is. Because it's common sense that at this point, if I'm constantly stating, hey, somebody need to talk to me in person if some type of lie has been sparked up about me, it's common sense at this point. Yeah, it's just some bullshit going on. Every time my data slow down, every time I get on Instagram or I get on YouTube, and every time I hit refresh and then the Instagram repeats the same exact page that's up there, that tells me that this is not real Instagram. March 24th, 2025. Somebody hacked into my Instagram and put something up there explicit. Still to this day, nothing has been stated. Nobody has told me anything. Even when I reached out to let it be known that my phone was hacked to certain agencies, nothing was done about my phone getting hacked on that particular day. Because my Instagram just all of a sudden got suspended. Instagram don't just suspend your fucking page for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something that goes against the rules and the guidelines. So, oh, shit. I'm just at a point now where I came to the conclusion that I don't, like, a lot of shit that I be bothered by, I really don't care about the he say, she say talk. I don't really care about the gossip and shit or people trying to make up lies. But when it comes to somebody that's trying to frame me or sabotage me for futuristic goals, like to actually hope that they can come forth in the future and try to get me put in jail off of a lie that was sparked up, that right there is the reason why I make videos like how I'm making now. To make sure that nobody try to frame me in the future, yo. And I made a video before and I said, it's always somebody hacking my video, so I got to always go back and make it clear like what I was stating. The whole time I was living on 2145 Canal Street, the only niggas that walked up in my apartment was this dude named Kelvin back in the day, and also this dude named Ryan. That when I was staying over there between November 2014 to December 2015. You know what I'm saying? It was this one dude that used to drop me off that I worked with named Wendy, this Haitian dude named Wendy and Killick. You know what I'm saying? They used to drop me off over on Canal Street back in the day because I worked with them. But I think those was the only times those was the only niggas that ever stepped foot in my apartment. Only. And also when I was living on even when I stayed with my mom, only person that ever stepped foot in that was only person that stepped foot in my mom's apartment in Cape Coral in 2015, all of 2015, 16, the whole time she stayed over there was my ex-girlfriend. I never brought anybody else in that apartment. You know what I'm saying? Ever. I mean, or in that duplex. I never brought anybody else in there. One time, my sisters and they friends, my sister and her boyfriend, my sisters and their boyfriend came to visit, and even still, like, only person that ever stepped foot in that duplex over there on in Cape Coral on Southeast 5th Avenue was Mona back in the day. And when I moved to the Parker Positano apartments, only time a male stepped foot in that apartment ever was my little cousin Justin. You know what I'm saying? And that was when he came to visit Michigan for the summertime of 2018 or the spring of 2018, one of those, I think. And I remember walking up in the apartment and grabbing my PlayStation 4, grabbing all of my video games, and then I gave it to him to basically have something to play when they, because he was at my mom duplex over there in Cape Coral. And like I said, when my apartment got broken into in the springtime of 2018, it was this other dude that walked in my apartment. But he just walked in there to just look around and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was my next door neighbor. He had a girlfriend that was from Guyana. I don't know where people come off thinking that they could just do the worst and then attack me and my family psychologically, cyberly, you know what I'm saying, physically, mentally, spiritually, and then just act like they not doing that, or act like, you know what I'm saying, that's not a big deal. So I'm grateful that I stay close to God, yo, because I spoke on certain phone calls that I made to my family, and their voicemails all of a sudden changed. I reached out to my other family members in South Carolina, and I reach out to them, and now my pop's voicemail is like equivalent to the same exact, it's similar, not even, it's the same exact voicemail that, you know, my sister got. It be bothering me a lot, yo. It be bothering me a whole lot, because I feel like either there's somebody playing mind games, or it's more people being cloned. I see this stuff, yo. I see this. And what bothers me is it's a lot of people, it's a whole team of people lying to people, telling people that I'm a part of some brotherhood. So just me scratching my face or something like that, or doing this, people be thinking that I'm talking in code. And I don't know what the fuck it mean. As far as people that's a part of some brotherhood thinking that of me, I don't know what it mean. I'm just being me. But other people has went out their way to scandalize me so much that they made it clear to other people. They made it believable to other people that I'm a part of some brotherhood, and I'm not. I might record another version of this to make it more shorter. It's 11:05 p.m., yo. December 14, 2025. Let me make sure I covered everything that I wanted to speak on, because I talked about all this before. A lot of my Google photos been hacked. A lot of them. I don't know who hacked into them. I don't know at what point in time somebody went through them, but somebody hacked in all my Google photos, yo. It was this one dude that had a birthday on the 14th of September of 2018 when I came back to Detroit in the summertime of 2018. And it was a dude that was standing outside his house, across the street from his house, shooting his gun off in the air. That dude was either some drunk ass nigga who just always shooting his gun, or he was mentally ill. But I remember the dude whose birthday was coming outside saying, that nigga do that shit all the time. I ended up leaving like not too long after that. I spoke about one time how I pulled up outside of, I think it was the same crib, and I basically was shooting at a raccoon because the ladies that lived there, these older ladies that lived there, asked me to shoot the raccoon because they had raccoons in their garbage can. And they told Denzel to pour bleach in the garbage can, and when Denzel poured bleach in the garbage can, the raccoon hissed at him, and I started shooting at the raccoon. And I was on Evergreen Street when this happened in 2018, the summertime of 2018. And I remember I shot the raccoon, but I didn't kill it. And I can't remember the exact month this was, but I just remember it was the summertime of 2018, or maybe September 2018, which is the beginning of the fall or the end of the summer 2018, yo. I talked about all this before, though. But I said this again, I say it again. I said this before, I say it again. If it's people going by videos and pictures and a whole bunch of other conversations and gossiping ass conversations to base if they go interact with me on or not, you know what I'm saying, to basically, you know, see if they go talk to me or not, I be looking at shit like, you mean to tell me that you go listen to what a whole bunch of other people say, go by what a whole bunch of other people say, but you ain't gonna say shit to me, and then you go base how fucked up you go act in the future, or whatever scandalous ass act that you about to engage in the future, off of something that somebody else told you. So I came to the conclusion that if anybody that's thinking like that, they just wanted to be fouled from the very beginning, yo. I'm talking about family members looking different, looking like they've been cloned and stuff, looking like it's a whole bunch of foul stuff going on, and everybody's sitting back watching. Some people even cracking jokes about this kind of shit. Some people think it's fun. And then some people be looking at me with a look of arrogance on their face, like, ha, 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 you deserve it, ha, 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 that's karma. And then I'll be looking like, okay, won't you tell me what's really karma? If that's karma for me, what's really going on? What has somebody said about me that got you thinking that me going through a fucked up time is karma for me? What's been stated about me? Don't beat around the bush and don't, you know, talking subliminal messages and shit like that. What really has been stated, or what really happened that got you feeling like I deserve some type of a fucked up ass life to be living, or somebody that I'm related to deserves some type of a fucked up infliction on them? But I'm not gonna get an answer when I ask that question. The only way I'll get an answer if it's somebody that's around a whole bunch of people. They're gonna wait till they're around a bunch of people and then they'll answer that question. Because the goal is not to come to a common ground, to a common understanding. The goal is not to basically reach, you know what I'm saying, a final just, you know, closure in all of this. The goal is to basically try to turn as many people against me as possible, you know what I'm saying? Because it was never, ever, ever about proving right or wrong or true or false. It was about trying to just make me look fucked up to a bunch of people. So whenever I ask a question like, okay, if you looking at me in a sarcastic way, like I did something foul or I deserve something, what have you been told? What's been stated to you? What has been relayed to you? And then people don't say a single word. They go right back to playing charades and thinking that all of this shit is just fun.